Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Bryan. Bryan is a spelling variation of the more traditional name Bryan. The name comes from the Old Celtic word brígh, which means noble, strong, virtuous. The name was especially popularized in Ireland in the Middle Ages, influenced by the last High King of Ireland, Bryan Boru, who reigned between 1002 and 1014. Bryan defeated the Vikings at the Battle of Clontarf in 1014 but died of wounds sustained in the battle. Bryan has been a perennial favorite in Ireland, which was adopted by other English-speaking countries. Bryan is the more preferred spelling in the United States. Personality of the boy named Bryan. Romance is the hallmark of the Six personality. They exude nurturing, loving, and caring energy. Sixes are in love with the idea of love in its idealized form, and with their magnetic personalities, they easily draw people toward them. Like the number 2 personality, they seek balance and harmony in their life and the world at large. They are conscientious and service-oriented, and a champion for the underdog. These personalities naturally attract money and are usually surrounded by lovely material objects, but their human relationships are always primary. They thrive in giving back to others rather than being motivated by their own desires. This is when they achieve great things. Sixes are natural teachers, ministers, and counselors. Popularity of the boy named Bryan. The spelling Bryan actually shows up on the U.S. popularity charts before the name Bryan, which we were surprised to see given that Bryan is the traditional Irish form of the name. Bryan lingers on the charts with low to moderate usage until the latter half of the 20th century. The name hits the top 100 list in 1959, and it stayed there for the past 50-plus years. Bryan experienced its heaviest popularity in the 1970s and 1980s, during which time it hovered inside the top 50. Today, the name is dangerously close to exiting the top 100, and yet it's still the more preferred spelling to Bryan in the United States. Quick facts on Bryan. Gender, boy. Origin, Celtic. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, 132. Pronunciation, Bryn. Simple meaning, noble, strong. Characteristics of Bryan. Sensitive, humanitarian, affectionate, family-oriented, compassionate, community-minded, loving. Cultural references to the baby name, Bryan. Literary characters of the baby name Bryan. Famous people named Bryan. Brian Trottier, hockey player; Bryan Ferry, musician; Brian Smith, Irish singer; Bryan Brown, actor; Bryan Adams, musician; Bryan Cranston, actor;